Hello friends, welcome to the Morning Brew, and today I would like to draw your attention to the online edtech space and what are the changes happening in the industry and what are these changes being driven by the physical uh, appearance of the business or the nature of business that we see around the edtech. And that is why I thought I will talk about this, and the title of today's discussion is about the shrinking of the online edtech business space. So let's discuss this in more detail. And as you know that in India and the world over, the workplaces are getting opened, and now the new model which will continue for some more time is the hybrid normal, which means that if you talk about the office, 30% of the staff or 25% of the people can work from office. We have to visit the office, and remaining 60% can work from home. So this hybrid model is being followed at the workplace and everywhere else wherever there is a public interaction, and a complex protocol being developed where who will come to office, who will not come to office, all that is being produced as a timetable, and people are they have started to follow this. Now today we will talk about edtech, so this is only a reference about the workplace. From this point onwards I will not refer the work environment, but it was important to mention that here because a similar mechanism is being used in the school also. There are government regulation in different states, and let's talk about India, where there is a hybrid mode of normal schools have been allowed. And so far, following all the COVID guidelines, that is hand sanitization, mask, and maintaining distance, etc., there are different states with different guidelines, but by and large, on an average, 10 students in a class are allowed. Remaining students can can join in the school using online mechanism. So this is something which is now happening from this session onwards, and because of this online thing which was going on, there were a lot of investment made by the edtech players. So if you look at the edtech, the major companies are companies like Byju's and Unacademy and Whitehead Junior, and there are a few more who have invested in building up this infrastructure, ramping up, preparing for the future where the education will be imparted using the online mechanism. And I think we all agree that gone are the days where the e-learning was a norm, because I think we have moved way ahead of the usual e-learning, where we don't expect just a static page to show the course material and the student is supposed to read it and then go through a quiz, etc. So I think we have moved away from that model, which is an older model. Now the current accepted model for online education is there is a teacher also involved here. So there is a e-learning, there is an education which is the course material, maybe a whiteboard, maybe a quiz also. But a very important aspect to the online learning is the teacher being available. And because of this, the teacher is able to provide numerous number of students, education to numerous number of students. So unlike a school where there is an upper limit of 30-40 for effective communication between teacher and student, but when it comes to online, you can actually reach out to as many numbers of student as you want in one particular session. So these are some advantages, and then the reach can be maximized also. It doesn't matter whether you are in one state, one school, you can actually have distributed students across different states or even outside India. So these are certain advantages of the investment which has been made so far to beef up the online medium of education. But since the schools are now opening up, and the education institutes which are also the Edtech, which are mostly in the training arena, they have also started up opening their coaching centers. And as you know that the Edtech players, which are very, very big, in fact few of them are unicorns, they actually provide coaching and streamline the training to people for the competitive exams, or to do certain certain activities, prepare for certain activities like chartered accountancy, or prepare for some all India exams. So these coaching centers have a very different way of training people, because their whole idea is to prepare the students for a competition. And they also migrated to online mechanism. A lot of training was being given using online mechanism. But now, since the hybrid normal is coming up, they have started opening their coaching centers. And as you know, friends, in India there are two major coaching centers, cities in India, which is Kota in Rajasthan, and south is Hyderabad, which is very, very popular for providing different kinds of coaching. So now they have started opening up these coaching centers with the COVID guidelines. That means number of students who will be present in the coaching center at any point in time, with proper sanitization, mask, and social distancing. So using these mechanisms, they have started doing that. Now, because of these changes, there are some changes happening in their structure also. And they have started laying off certain people. And in fact, it's a public news. For last 2 to 3 weeks, we have been hearing that all these online edtech players have started laying off the staff. Now we have to understand why they are laying off, and why they are now hiring a team of talented teachers. And all this is happening because of this change of hybrid normal. They had invested in providing online teaching and online study material, etc. For that, they had hired people only for online activities. And since they are now opening up the coaching center in certain areas, so the people who were hired, especially in those areas, have been laid off. Because if the edtech player is now providing training through coaching center, physical coaching centers, then they will have to hire new teachers who will actually teach students in premise. So they have started hiring these talented teachers who will go to the coaching center and start training their students. And that is why there's little bit of change happening here. Wherever there is a coaching center, there will be physical teacher will be present in the class, and for rest of the area where there are no coaching centers, there will be online teachers available. So there is a bit of change happening because of these things. And while some people are getting laid off, the new opportunities are also opening up, and new teachers are being hired by these edtech players. And because of this, there is a bit of shrinkage in terms of the online part of it. Because if you're opening a coaching center where you are promoting certain number of students to visit and study there physically, obviously the online business will shrink little bit. So the shrinkages of online business is just a correction which has happened. And while I personally believe that there are huge advancements still possible in the online mechanism, especially with the augmented reality coming in a big way by end of this year, the first business that will be affected will be the online education, which is edtech especially. So there are new AR experience required to be integrated with the existing online education platforms. So players like Byju's, etc., they will have to integrate the augmented reality, so that when the student is basically studying using online mechanism, they start feeling that the teacher is standing in front, and they get a experience of a classroom while they are still at home, etc. So all of this is being worked out, and This change, what you see here, is only a course correction, a slight course correction towards that journey. So I think online business, in fact, will be more strengthened as the time passes, while some people will give consent to their children to go to the coaching center, but not all of them, because I think 80 to 90% student will still work and study from online. The only thing they are missing is the feeling of a classroom, or feeling of how they learn from a teacher who's standing in front of them, and that will be fulfilled by the augmented reality and maybe in future virtual reality. So these changes are happening. So my message to all the edtech players as well as to the student is not to get worried. This is just a course correction. You may hear about some people getting laid off, but there are huge opportunities now opened up for talented teachers to be hired by these edtech players. So I think that's a very good news. So friends, if you have any opinion or comment on this discussion, do send in your suggestions and comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next edition of Morning Brew.